Hey everyone, it's Kat, and I'm back today with another decoding. This one is titled Ayran, Tree of Life Decoded. So if you watch my vids on diet, you will know that if we look to nature, Waralda has put sustenance in all areas of this world to feed his creation. That we humans, Frya, Lida, and Finda, were made for particular zoological zones. And within each zone are particular foods for those particular humans to eat for optimal health. I mean, this should be so obvious, but because of programming, it's not obvious to many. In the north, for instance, we eat salmon, trout, cod, deer, elk, boar, ducks, chicken, grouse, pheasant, turkey, walnuts, pears, peaches, plums, cherries, apples, all kinds of berries, eggs, sourdough, potatoes, honey, and especially milk, cream, and cheeses. In tropical areas, you would eat boar, tuna, poi, rice, papaya, avocado, mango, pineapple, guava. In the desert regions, you would eat the prickly pears, couscous, fufu, cassavas, goat meat, sweet potatoes, and bananas. So the point being, it is in the lands of the north where dairy originated and is the food given to the people of the north by Waralda. We see through observation and history that the north is the land of milk and honey. The land of milk and honey is not the Levant, as the Bible would have us believe. We can prove this not only through predominant types of food eaten in each area, but also by how the bodies of the different types of people handle dairy. We can see from this map that the highest tolerance for dairy products would be in Fryan lands. Notice the Bible area of the Levant has low lactose tolerance. We can see that the Northwest European lands, the lands of Frya, have the highest tolerance, and that these are the lands of milk and honey. Notice that in Finda lands, milk was not consumed in history. Only in the recent past did school kids get introduced to milk in places like Korea. And even then, they have to give them chocolate milk so they will drink it. In the Philippines, in Mexico, in Japan, milk and cheeses are not used in traditional dishes. This goes also for African countries. Milk and cheeses were not known or used in African dishes. The farthest south milk and cheeses come up would be in Turkey, where we hear today that this is the birthplace of Kefir. But is that correct? Or is this another case of usurping a Fryan bit of culture? Yes. Findans and Leidens are lactose intolerant because they were not designed by Waralda to consume dairy products. Fryans were. Some Fryans are lactose intolerant today, but is that because we weren't always lactose intolerant? There would have to be A, something wrong with us, or B, something wrong with the dairy we drink. The answer is both A and B, that there is something wrong with the dairy we drink, and that makes for something wrong with us. Through a process called Pasteurization, brought to us in 1862 by the small hat Louis Pasteur and used ever since, all the good bacteria that would eat the lactose in the gut were killed. So the gut can't process the milk as it should, and so causes many gut issues. Many of us already know about germ theory versus terrain theory, and that Louis Pasteur invented germ theory, and that BS is what they use against us today with contagious viruses, germs, etc. But the truth is that Weralda designed the Fryan body system to work hand in hand with the little microbes that live in our gut for optimum health. So our enemy, to make us unhealthy, puts out propaganda making us fear the very microbes that protect us, and instead have us kill them off by pasteurizing all of our dairy, leaving us sicker and sicker with each generation. What is amazing is that Weralda did give us a drink in which probiotics, the good bacteria that live in our gut, are alive in abundance and leads to optimal health, yet hardly any Fryans know about it. It is called kefir. We know about yogurt, but not kefir. The big difference between the two is that yogurt helps us only a tiny bit, whereas kefir is the powerhouse for our health. Yogurt has 7 bacteria. Kefir has 50 probiotic bacteria. Yogurt's bacteria can be killed by pasteurization, while kefir's bacteria cannot be killed by pasteurization. That's very important. Kefir's bacteria cannot be killed by pasteurization. And since it can't be killed, once it enters your gut, it stays there and colonizes in your digestive tract, which promotes long life. 50 plus good bacteria protecting your gut. I think of Mike Myers in the movie Austin Powers here, and get in my belly, get in there, good kefir bacteria. Pasteurized milk does not do a body good. But fortunately, Louis has no power here over kefir. It's funny how they went after raw milk in places like California. Remember that? But was that so we would look over there and not look over here at the best way to ingest probiotics for maximum health by drinking kefir? And if you look at kefir under a microscope, you will see that it looks like a tree of life. So Weralda showing us his perfect design, the as above tree of life that we live on, the macro, and the so below tree of life that lives in us, the micro. Kefir, Kefirot, Sephirot, Kabbalah tree of life. It looks like the as below bacteria tree. They are always hiding the truth in plain sight from us. We Fryans have our tree of life called Yggdrasil that represents the macro. They usurp this from us as they did with everything Fryan, everything. Now if you look up kefir on the internet, you will see that it says kefir originated in the Caucasus Mountain region and that the locals drink it to this day. That kefir is a Hebrew word, but is that the true name of this drink? The Turks call it Ayran. Notice how close Ayran is to Ayran. Ayran is another name for Fryan. The drink was named after the people who brought it to them, the Aryans, the Fryans, not from some Hebrew place in the desert where the land of milk and honey was not. So we brought Ayran to the Middle East and not the other way around. So I found this from an article on Ayran, and it says, goatskin bag for carrying milk and culturing kefir in the Caucasus. How convenient to capture this picture so. We could also caption it, boy carrying turnips to the market in Afghanistan, and no one would know the difference, right? So they could just put whatever they want and say, make it be what they want it to be, right? So we are lactose intolerant today because we don't have this special bacteria residing in our guts. That special bacteria are alive and live off of the lactose in milk, which are the sugars, leaving behind all the good stuff for our bodies. To make kefir, it is as simple as getting a hold of some raw milk and putting kefir grains in it. You set it on your kitchen counter for 24 hours and voila, you have kefir. These grains consume the lactose, and kefir grains multiply so you can share the goodness with your neighbors. By the way, I did try to find out what kefir grains actually are. Are they literal grains? Where do they come from? So in researching, I found that they aren't actual grains like wheat or something. It's not a grain, but clumps of probiotics basically, and that the origin of the actual grains are unknown. It's a mystery. But from the paintings, it appears that manna from heaven is really Ayran grains from Woralda. Doesn't it look like it? Little white balls. Looks like little kefir grains. Fryans do still drink it today in Sweden, Finland, Estonia, and other Baltic countries. But amazingly, not so much in Germany, the Netherlands, and the UK. Although they do still make the cheeses, but today the powers that be are trying to destroy our dairy farmers in this region. They say they need room for immigrants and that the farmlands have too big a carbon footprint, while at the same time these rich small hats are flying around in their private jets. Whites make up only 8% of the world population today. Our lands are being taken over and we are running out of room. Let's have a look at that lactose tolerant map one more time. You can see that the highest tolerance is in white lands. Those are the lands of milk and honey, the white lands where lactose tolerance is at its highest. You can make a natural fizzy drink out of it, cheeses, and even smoothies, ice cream, etc. You can buy the grains online, and I would advise you to make your own and drink a glass daily for optimal health. This will help to counteract all the poisoning we ingest through chemtrails and other pollutants. Please leave me a comment if you ended up making your own and what you think about it. All the best, Kat the Fryan. Take care. We're all to bless.